2, just test. Testing
So
1,
people
2,
will actually be at
3, 4, 5.
I've heard there were only 3 people.
Testing 1, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Photograph each other along. Take this plastic off. Take the plastic off now. But you may want to wait later and shoot that with sticks.
So the house that you're building, are you having
I don't know what she's been on. The monitor and the mirror.
The rest of it just whatever, but those things I probably will have to refer to.
I know I had some friends that just built their own houses. Very good.
They do everything.
So you're
Yeah, like a train station version. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tim.
allows it to compete with the rest of the world, not.
Stills, please, please. Down in front. Down in front, down in front.
All the way down, Bill.
Down in front. Stills, this isn't for you, this is for us. Down, please. Stills. Stills. Come on, guys, give us a break, would you? Would you get out of the way?
Praying.
We still got a Stills guy in the way.
I'm going to start the clock.
We still have Stills guys in the picture. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Who is this guy? Excuse me.
Good morning and welcome. Glad to have you here. My name is Jane Adams. I'm Manager of Media Relations at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. We have with us today several honored guests. They include Governor Douglas Wilder, Governor-elect George Allen, Kathleen Seefeld, who is the chairman of the Prince William County Board of Supervisors.
Audio's low.
Okay. We also have some other people with us. Secretary of Transportation John Milliken. From the Prince William County Board of Supervisors, we have John Jenkins, Hilda Barr, Terry Spillane. We have State Senator Chuck Colgan, Delegate Harry Parrish, Delegate Bob Marshall, the Mayor of Haymarket, John Capp. From the City of Manassas, we have the Vice Mayor, John Payne, and from the Manassas City Council, John Jazica. Welcome all. We're glad to have you here. And first this morning, we have Peter Rummel.
Audio level up, please.
Peter Rummel. Peter is the president of Disney Design and Development, and he's here to talk about the project.
Thank you, Jane. Is this loud enough?
Yes, sir. Speak up a little bit.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Peter Rummel. I'm president of Disney Design and Development, as Jane said. That's the piece of the Disney company that designs and builds our theme parks and also does the related real estate activities for the company. 2 years ago, the Walt Disney Company decided that the Washington, D.C. area would be an ideal location for what we think is an innovative new idea in Disney parks. And after an exhaustive search, Prince William County is our choice for this exciting new venture. The historical significance of this region and its proximity to Washington, D.C. make this the perfect home for Disney's America. Disney's America is going to be an exciting, dynamic, interactive park that will bring a new dimension to our nation's capital using attractions and entertainment that we have become famous for. The park will place its guests in a series of dynamic settings where they can experience the life of Americans in different periods in our history. Disney's America will serve, we think, as an ideal complement to people visiting this area's museums, monuments, and national treasures. Americans come here to see the monuments and museums that mark our history. But Disney's America is a complement to that experience, and we think will become an additional must-see to that national tour. But in addition to being fun and entertaining, there are also major long-term economic benefits to both the state and the county. Disney's America will create more than 3,000 jobs, 3,000 new jobs, making Disney by far the largest private employer in Prince William County. We will generate $1.5 billion in tax revenue for the state and county over the next 30 years. Approximately $1 billion of that new revenue will go to the state, and $500 million will go to Prince William County. It's important that everyone understand that Prince William County is the only location under consideration for this project. We are not shopping around. This is not a beauty contest. We've bought land here, and we hold options on adjacent property. And we're prepared to make one of the largest private capital investments ever in the state of Virginia and in Prince William County. Over the next 4 to 6 months, we will work to forge a series of partnerships with the state and the county to make this project a reality. These partnerships will address zoning issues and public infrastructure issues, which are going to be a crucial part of our final decision to go forward. In summary, we're seeking a partnership with this community that we think will draw visitors from around the country and around the world. We will generate 3,000 new jobs and $1.5 billion of new state and local taxes that will help this community build roads, sewers, and schools. Disney's America is our company's third venue in North America, but its mission is very different from our other parks. We think that Disney's America will complement our other parks, our other experiences, but will also complement the existing attractions in this richly historical region. Its attendance will be more modest than that of our other parks, and while our plans are not yet finalized, our long-term vision is to create a 3,000-acre showcase, which will include hotels, public golf course, residential, and mixed-use development. But Disney's America, the park that you're about to see, is the heart of that. The creation of these other plans will happen only after Disney's America is in place and will stretch well into the next decade. To experience history, Disney's visitors will be insulated from the present. But just as important, we don't want to intrude on the daily lives of our neighbors. Our announcement today has been preceded by over 2 years of painstaking analysis and an enormous amount of input from a whole series of both local and national consultants. We've tried to create a project that we think will offer a fascinating experience for our guests, but at the same time will be sensitive to the environment in the community that we're moving into. And as we proceed with our planning, we look forward to working with local residents, local businesses, local concerned associations to understand their issues, their priorities, and make sure that those issues are incorporated into our plans. We have a lot of work ahead. This is the end of the first step and the beginning of the rest of the process. But we're confident that working with Prince William County and with the Commonwealth of Virginia, that we can accomplish some great things together, and we are anxious to get started. I'd now like to introduce Bob Weiss, who's the Senior Vice President from Walt Disney Imagineering, which is our group that designs and builds these parks. Bob is the guy who is leading the design effort, leading the creative team who has put together this vision, and I'd like him to talk to you specifically about what Disney's America is. Bob?
Miriam.
Good morning. Thank you. Oh, it does work. Everybody hear me okay? Everybody hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay?
You're not on the moon.
No, I'm going to be moving around, so I'll just talk as loud as I can.
There you are.
Everybody hear me okay? Great, thanks. Let me talk to you about what this idea has been lots of speculation. Let me talk to you about what we think it is and why we're excited about it. And I'll talk, if I start to go down a little bit, just yell at me and I'll be a little louder. To start with, let me tell you there are three very important components to this park, which are unique to any park we've ever done before. The first most important thing is that it has to be fun, it has to be entertaining, and it has to be exciting. And that's something that's common to all the parks we've ever done if they're going to be successful. So that's our first criteria. The second criteria is, for this particular project, it has to be diverse. It has to reflect the diversity of America. And I mean that in terms of the diversity of race in America, the diversity of cultures that we have that define us as a people, and the diversity of points of view. This is not a Pollyanna view of America. It's going to look at real issues, and it's going to make it's going to have people understand those issues, but it's going to do it in a very fun, exciting way. And the last thing is that this park it's essential that this park be connected and fundamentally a part of your visit to this region. The historical aspects of Virginia, all of the monuments and museums that are part of the mall, all those things are we want to be connected to this. And essentially what we're trying to do is use the skills that we have in our company for telling stories, for designing rides, for designing intimate theatrical experiences and entertainment. We're going to use those skills to convey a story about America and to really get people excited about coming here. If a busload of students come here from Chicago, we want them to see the museums, we want them to see the White House, see the mall, see Manassas Battlefield, see all those things are a part of history here. But when they come here, we want them to live them. If they've seen them, they've read them in history books, here you have an opportunity to play the roles of these people. We can, through our techniques, for instance, if you've seen in the Air and Space Museum, you've seen a great World War II fighter, we can come out and through simulation and virtual reality, we can put you in the pilot seat of that and have you play that experience. We can make you a Civil War soldier and have the Civil War, which is such an important part of our history, be a part, you experience it as if you were a real soldier. We can make, through an emotional statement, we can make you feel what slavery was like at that time period and what it was like to try to escape through the Underground Railroad. That's the kind of emotion and the kind of excitement that we want to bring, and it's the kind of thing that we think we can bring from our experience in the parks. The park, again, is about history, and it's about our government, but it doesn't stop with history. Again, to use my busloads of students analogy, we want it to be historical, but we also want it to be about today. We think that when students come here or when families come here to experience Washington and Virginia and the areas around here, they're hypersensitized to what America is about. They're looking at the news. They're more interested than perhaps they are when they're in their hometowns. We want to take advantage of that and really give them a chance to live it, to live what the past was, but also to dream about the future and debate about issues today. So this is a different park. This is not, we love Disneyland. We love adding attractions to Disneyland. Disneyland's a very popular attraction, but this is not Disneyland. This is all of the fun and the excitement of Disneyland, but we're going to do a lot about America here, a lot about education, and we're going to have some real issues of America that we deal with. So that's really our big idea. One of the things that you'll see as I describe some of the areas we're going to have is that all of our venues, whether they be theaters or interactive galleries or other types of spaces, we're designing to be flexible so that we can use the park for political debates, for special press presentations. We'd like to be able to use large venues for student events. So it's going to be a changeable, dynamic place that can change month to month as different types of events occur. And a lot of the importance of that is to get buy-in from diverse groups out in the country who have different points of view and get them to want to be able to come here and express their points of view, come here and do gallery exhibits, come here and do interactive attractions, and be a part of this whole experience. That's the only way it's really going to truly be a somewhat of a representation of America. Otherwise, it's going to be a very narrow faction, which is not at all what we want to bring here. The other thing we would like to do is to build some media facilities here. We'd like to build a television station here. We'd like to build a radio station. We'd like to possibly have a operating newspaper that works out of here so that people can come here and see how the press works and see what an important part that the press plays in our national activities. So that's really the big idea of that we're dealing with. Let me tell you a little bit more in specifics, and I'm going to be moving people all the time as I do it, but basically, this site is is kind of unusual for us in that it is a very beautiful site with rolling hills. It's got a wonderful green character to it. It's got a very rural agricultural spirit to it, and it's quite expansive. It's quite large. So our initial concept, and I'm going to move all over, but it's okay. Our initial concept is to take advantage of that site, try to take advantage of existing forested areas, existing green spaces, and the park will actually be located very close to the center of the property. So there's going to be a very wide green belt that will be all around it, and we'll try to leave we are leaving a number of the really important environmental assets intact so that the park will be able to weave and flow through the forest and through the existing farmlands. One of the things that is unique about this park, which is unique to any of our parks, is that there will be a small hotel accommodation, initially a small hotel accommodation, which is going to be right at the front gate and also inside the park. So if you want to come here and immerse yourself totally in this American experience, you can come here and to use Disneyland as an analogy, it would be like staying upstairs in Main Street. You'll be staying right in the middle of the park as part of your experience. This is the main entrance area. This is where that hotel I was referring to is located, right inside the park. And when you first come into the park, hopefully you've had a chance to see the model and things. When you first come into the park, you're going to come into a Civil War era town. And we're going to authentically recreate, right behind where all these photographers are standing, there's a wonderful illustration of it, which Tony's pointing to. But we're going to authentically recreate a Civil War town, and it's going to be not a museum. It's going to be filled with activity and events leading up to Civil War battles. And we're going to try to communicate to guests what that era was about, what every different group in America, between African Americans and white Americans and soldiers and Confederacy and Union, what that whole experience was like as you experience that town. And as you come into town, there'll be lots of activities going on. And off in the distance, on a long axis across this lake, which encompasses the whole park, is going to be a recreation of a Civil War fort, which you'll see off in the distance. And that we've selected the Civil War as the sort of center point in time for this park. And you can almost perceive the park as being like a timeline in that as you go this direction, you'll go backward in time from the Civil War, back to the early Native American days. As you go this way, you're going to go forward in time. Because the park is not, as I said, locked in a particular historical period. It's going to talk about all of our history and go all the way up to our present and look ahead to our future. But we picked the Civil War as a center point because it's so fundamental to this area and such an important part of our history and such an important crossroads. And we all can relate to Vietnam. We can all relate to Desert Storm. We can relate to a lot of conflicts today. But particularly for young people, the Civil War is a long time ago. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make the Civil War very viable and important and visual for them. So that's the first area you'll walk into. As you go back in time in this direction, and actually you go back into the natural forest area, which we're retaining here, we're going to go into an area which we're calling Native America. And our idea there is to go all the way back to the sophisticated, intelligent societies which existed here before Europeans came, and in fact were wiped out by Europeans since then. And we're going to try to connect with Eastern Indian groups which are here and authentically build an Indian village. This is not cowboys and Indians like we might have done in the past at Disneyland. This is an authentic Indian village where we're going to talk about society and communication and crafts. And that will be an experience that guests will be able to visit. And in addition, we're developing a thrill ride, which is what we call Lewis and Clark's water raft ride. And somebody's going to bring me an illustration through the crowd in a second. But essentially, we're going to give you a sense of a thrilling water ride through a Native American environment. And this model of this land is kind of typical of all the lands, in that we're going to have a thrilling experience that even teenagers will want to come to this park and do, we hope. But we're also going to have interactive educational experiences that are based in real, authentic history. So we want to try to play that dichotomy of things in each one of the areas that we deal with. We want it to be fun and interactive, but we also want it to have a historical or authentic part of it. From Native America, going back toward town, is a place we're calling President's Square, and that is, hopefully that's not, I'm going to go back. President's Square talking loud, is an area where we are going to focus on the written aspects of our government and how it works, and all of our great leaders, specifically the presidents. We have a show at Disney World which is called The Hall of Presidents, which we are extensively redoing right now, and in fact it's opening next week with Bill Clinton playing a much more important role than any current president has. He's going to speak. We've specially recorded a speech that he has done for us, and he plays a very focused role in that show, and that's the beginning of a complete restaging and rethinking of that show, which